Hello and welcome to the Mrs. V Night Shift. I'm Scarlett Olivest for Mrs. V and so excited that you can join us on our second episode, and we have the gorgeous Kay Schubach here tonight with me, talking all things about your most important shift and what your best advice was, and also your favourite Australian made product.
Absolutely, I can't wait.
So very excited, so let's get started. So the first part of our show, of course, is to introduce our beautiful guest, and which is Kay, and the day. So I wanted to talk about, firstly, the day. And how was your day today?
It's interesting. I've been kind of struggling a little bit lately. Fortunately, I work at a great place. So a beautiful team at the Heart Foundation, a bunch of amazing, supportive women, and thank God I have them. Because, I don't know, I've just been dipping down into a bit of a weird existential, lonely, alone place lately. So sometimes I have to force myself, and I've worked a lot on my own, freelancing, beavering away at home, and now I have to go into a team environment all the time. Sometimes it takes everything I have to get in there, but I'm so grateful when I get there that I've got these warm souls around me.
Exactly, you need that support, because I know that, and it's funny though, there's a bit of an energy thing going on at the moment, and it's the 8th of the 8th, but in some astrology, Chinese, I don't know what it is, but it's meant to be a special day where it's a very big surge of energy, so we're meant to really set the day of what you want to achieve and then let go of what you don't want. So I think some people even looked into the sun and made a kind of a thing that they wanted, so you could still do it even though the sun's gone. You can do it to the moon.
Well, actually, there was the most amazing moon set this morning that I woke up to at dawn. The full moon outside my window here was amazing. It just dropped down behind the city buildings. And I opened the window really quickly. It was, but I thought this is a great way to start the day, actually. Oh, yeah, it was fabulous. So I did a little intention.
Little intention.
Yeah.
It always, I mean, look, you should really do it every day. Because I've done this thing recently where I just, rather than thinking about the list, I'm very much a list, this is what I need to do today, is rather than doing the list, I'm going, this is what I want to achieve. This is what I want today. What do I want? What do I want? What do you want? I mean, it's a really good thing to think about. So the day was, for me, it was a very kind of low-key day. I think I could feel something in the energy. It was a bit kind of, I don't know, I went out driving and there was no cars on the road. It was very eerie, strange today. So feeling grounded. So we'll see, hopefully it'll kind of, the energy will lift up a bit.
I hope so. Actually, I felt that there was a bit of a breakthrough today. There's been something heavy on me, and it started to lift. And I know with people who suffer depression, it's very hard to explain when you're under it. You don't think there's ever going to be an out, but as it starts to lift, you go, oh my God, that's right. Music sounds good again. The air smells clean again.
It is true, and it's people don't. They go, oh, cheer up, or you can't actually tell or help someone be happy. The only thing I feel I can do is, which I try to do, is shift their energy into seeing that this is not going to last. Like, everything changes, which is actually a really great thing to think about.
And I find that whole thing about stepping outside of yourself and observing your emotions so helpful. And it's an organic process. You actually just sometimes have to write it out. And have patience and have faith that this too shall change.
This too shall change. I love it. This too shall pass. That's one that I've heard a lot of. So we have a Dear Mrs. V, and today the question I had from someone, which was about, it's funny, we're talking about what's the best kind of tool to get out of feeling blue, and I think that's actually a really great one to think about, which is, to look at it from an objective point of view. I think it's really important, and I know that if you change the energy, because sometimes when we're going through it, we feel that this is going to last forever. And you kind of go, how do I make that next jump? And sometimes when I just really focus on how I'm feeling and I go, God, I just feel really angry, or I feel, because I actually am a believer that depression, not clinical, but depression can be repressed anger. And so you get this kind of dull thing. So if you actually express that anger and go, God, I feel so angry today, which I do sometimes in the kitchen, when my husband's not there, I'm really angry. And then I just think something else, suddenly I'm thinking about something else, and it makes a big difference.
Yeah, absolutely. I think acceptance is the key. Yes. I really do. So whatever you're feeling, just be be with it. And I know recently I've been talking a bit about cancer recovery and staying positive through that. And a lot of the language around cancer is, it's a battle, fight it, it's the enemy, you're going to war. And I just think that's completely destructive analogies to use. And I found actually there was a lot to learn from being quiet and listening to, you know, this massive thing has happened to you. What are the lessons here? What can I take from this? How can I shift in myself to actually turn this into something that I can learn from and be positive?
And which brings us to the shift list, and that we were talking about that because, and actually I just want to comment on the fact about that quiet, not pushing against. You know how people rally against something? I think almost that feeling of against is the same as giving it energy.
Yes,
so
you're feeding it.
You're feeding it, so I totally get that, and I love that you came to that. So let's talk about what was the most important shift in your life.
Well, there's been a few, you know, I think sometimes that I've got a really uneventful, ordinary life, and then I kind of go, actually, it's been quite extraordinary. And not only with surviving a really aggressive stage 4 cancer, but also surviving, you know, someone I love trying to kill me, but also, but also, you know, just as women, I think we tend to think that we haven't really achieved all that much, but if you look back, we're leading the army every day, you know, we're doing extraordinary things and we don't give ourselves credit for it.
This is, what's your name?
Meowsy.
So cute. Actually, I was just saying to Kay, I'd love to do a little segment called Let's Pause, and we're going to talk about pets, so we're going to definitely have you on it. So please don't.
Where was I? Women are leading the army, you know, and I think we really underestimate ourselves. So, you know, we're strong, amazing people, and we need to kind of own that and step into that strength.
So for you, when you discovered your own strength, that was kind of like, actually, I can do this. I can, you know, not fight, but heal myself in a way and go through it, plus leave someone who was so violent. Right?
Well, with cancer, I actually had that situation where I'd just been kind of cut in half virtually, and then thinking I was past the worst of it, and then my surgeon came in with a team of registrars and interns and actually drew the curtain around me in the hospital and said, "Oh, I've got your lab results and I'm sorry, it's bad." And and I remember feeling, we all know what a hot flush feels like, it just kind of went through me, but importantly it went out. And I just never accepted that. I just never, ever, ever believed that I was going to die. There were times when I planned for it, and you know, I had to actually tell people and do a whole lot of things logistically around that, but never in my cells did I actually believe what he said. And so I actually learned incredible strength, that I learned to learn that I had strength.
See, I love that. That's a very good shift, because I think we've all been in that, not been there, but been in a place where we have to dig deep to see that we are capable of more. And it's funny how you were saying yesterday too about, yesterday I was on the show last night about acceptance. It's funny you talked about it today too, and accepting where you are, which gives you the strength to kind of go, okay, I know who I am and how strong I am now. It's like, do you know what I mean? In that moment of, this is what's happening, but through that acceptance, you actually pull in that truth about your own value and strength.
We're forged in fire, you know, we've got that. And when I still get nervous about, you know, talking at a board meeting, or, you know, I do a lot of public speaking now, and freak out beforehand, and then I just go, no, hang on, I've got this, I can do it. And I remember,
I love that. I've got this.
Yeah.
So this is the next thing. What is the best advice anyone's ever given you?
I had, I've actually really struggled with this, because I think Mum used to say, don't tell anyone how much money you've got in the bank. And Dad used to say, always buy on the high side of the road.
Oh, they're funny little things
so
that
cute.
your parents always are in your head.
Mum said, don't ever have oranges and cups of tea together.
So funny.
But I think probably the people who had the most impact on me, I had some fantastic mentors in my life. Even I remember in year, 9 or something, I had an English teacher who bought me a thesaurus. And that was the first time that anyone had demonstrated that they thought that I had ability and that they believed in me. I've still got it.
Oh, wow.
It's a long time ago now. It's all sticky taped up. And
that kind of action was just something that communicated something about yourself, isn't that?
And that was a big shift, you know. As a 15-year-old kid, I didn't have any idea of really who I was and what power I might have. And he made me believe that, maybe I did. And I've always been a wordsmith since. So
I love that word, wordsmith. I love that word, and it's true. You are, and I think, you know, having that as a child, you know, you are so impacted by your teachers and the people around you, and just. I remember actually a therapist telling me years ago that it can be one thing that can change everything. So always remember that with our children. So the last thing on our questions is the best tool. What's for, you know, what do you use to overcome challenges?
I think that whole thing we were talking about just retreating from it slightly, not reacting all the time, just kind of take a little bit of quiet time and listen. So the tools that actually help me to listen are to, you know, gently exercise. I love my walking.
Because that moves things, doesn't it?
And actually I physically have to do it because I've got to move my lymphs all the time. After the surgery, I have to walk 10,000 steps every day. But it does actually sometimes if I've got a writing block, I'll go out for a walk or a run, and it clears up straight away.
Yeah, beautiful.
So the other tools are meditation and yoga. So they're the quiet, contemplative things that just start to quieten the noise and then free the inner stuff to flow.
It's interesting because there's a guy called Carl Cease who I've discovered recently who's amazing, and he was meditating for 100 days straight for 2 hours, and he videoed himself through the process, and it's very interesting, you know, when you do quieten in that space, there's a magic happens. I often feel that in the space between the thoughts or the space between the moves in yoga, there's that magic kind of universe that happens. And, you know, you have to find whatever that is for you. He was saying, like, people would write in and say, I've been meditating for 2 hours, nothing's happening for me. And so it's not for everybody. And that's the thing, I think, for me, that I wanted him to kind of say that that's not the answer for everybody. But if you understand the concept, and whatever comes before getting to that place is maybe the space where you should be in. So
I love that the space between the whatever, and you've got to try and just make that a little bit longer each time.
It's funny, my yoga teacher used to say to me, try and relax into, because what would happen is after I do my move, I go, da-da-da, that's very good. But it's actually, you have to kind of fall into the move, and then that the relaxation happens between it. And it was just really, and then he was saying, between the meditations, the thoughts, I thought that was such a great analogy.
There's lots of lessons that where actually if you listen, you're getting them every day. Today I went to the physio and I'm kind of hurt my shoulder, and so she was saying, well, you've damaged something, but all the other muscles around it come in to compensate. And then it's working in an odd way, and that's why you get pain. But our body just wants to, you know, it's amazing. And we do that as people. We zoom in to fix something, and, you know, actually watching the healing process is, you know, an exercise in miracles.
Yes, yes, we are truly miracles. Just have to remember that and believe in ourselves. Mrs. V loves Australian made, so I wanted to. So what have you got here? What do you love?
Yeah, it's funny that we found we liked the same thing.
I hope she's listening tonight.
I know.
Because Kay was telling us.
Yes, well, I told you about this last night, and you came and said, "Oh my God, I know the brand."
My friend, I'm going to hold it up to camera for you.
Kame and Able. And the beautiful thing about the name of the product is that Kame, I think, is a sacred space. And for women, I think, and Able, when the packaging for this is all, not the packaging, the delivery of this is all packaged and it explodes.
It explodes.
By disabled people. Yeah, so it's
yes.
really...
She is amazing. So Michelle is a friend actually, which was so funny, so I hope you're listening tonight. And she has developed this, and just listen to her story, and we're going to get her on the show.
Oh, her story is amazing.
And she's also giving us some of her scrub at the event that we're doing on for the Mrs. V ship.
Oh, wonderful. How exciting.
So it's amazing.
Well, it's funny because there's another part to this is that this is nurture, but it's actually magnesium products, and magnesium is, you know how we all feel grumpy and irritable and we're having trouble sleeping, magnesium fixes it.
Yes.
And it's, if you're, and I know this from working at the Heart Foundation now, magnesium is one of the things that they give if you're having a heart attack, because it just, it regulates the heartbeat. It's beautiful.
Oh, that's lovely.
It's such a beautiful product.
And then, okay, great. So the next one. So your nightcap. So I'm having my nightcap tonight as water.
Because there's nothing in the cupboard suited Scarlett.
Because last night I was saying about the herbal tea, she goes, I've only got a herbal tea, but water's beautiful. I'll have my tea later, but I want to know what you're drinking.
And then we've got my nightcap is actually...
Look how gorgeous that is.
So forget the world of pain, we've got the world of tea.
Oh, the world of tea, I love it.
And it's higher living, a green tea with coconut, and I just live on this stuff, it's beautiful. So lots of antioxidants, lots of coconut, which is great for you all around.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Well, we'll pop those up, I'll pop them up on the site with the details. But that's divine, I love that. Have a great day tomorrow, and it's going to be for all of us.
Okay. My old poker playing.
See, there's the affirmation card. So I'm going to hold it up for you to see. Oh,
okay. And I'll cut the pack.
No, just cut the pack. Cut the pack.
Here we go.
And we have.
What does it say?
I'm accepted because.
That sounds familiar.
Now that is amazing because we actually got that last night. So
maybe it's really, hot. Did you?
No, it's absolutely. So it must be a really, I think. And then we talked about it earlier as well. So perhaps that's the tone and the energy of what we're all going through. Is this is really a time to accept where we are and in that peace and have that step back and look. It's so powerful. I love that. And also the thing with the card is for you and for everybody to find the reason why, because this is how these work. Is, you know, I was very much, I wanted people to get affirmations, but not just kind of, I am beautiful. It doesn't land anywhere, but if you find the reason for you, why that's true, it actually holds.
Right.
So when we finish, I mean, you know, just spend some time thinking about why you are accepted. I'm accepted because, and for me, last night, it was funny, I was thinking about why I'm accepted, because I do have incredible support and beautiful friends, and that's helped me accept myself more. So if you find whatever resonates for you.
It's about value, I think, and I think as women we often undervalue ourselves. Yeah.
So that's
big.
For you, so I'm accepted because I'm valuable.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm valued. Gorgeous.
Hey.
Thank you. Well, we're now going to, and I'm going to say good night, love and sparkle to you all. And right now I'm going to record a podcast with Kay, so you can hear a deeper version of her amazing story, and it is truly inspiring and amazing. So we're going to stay and do that, and that'll be up tomorrow. So have a look at it. And tomorrow night I'm going to be going to the lovely and just vibrant Sue Smithers place, so stay tuned for that one. Yeah, wow. It's going to be awesome. So thank you for joining us tonight, and we'll see you tomorrow. And thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks, Scarlett.